really not a factor.
Heckley has entered the ring, and we await the arrival now of James Buddy McGirt, a veteran of 75 bouts in his career.
We may not see that too often in the future.
There's Heckley, 17-2-2 in his career, with 11 KOs to his credit. Heckley out of Chelsea, Massachusetts. His record includes 11 knockouts in his 17 victories. And ready for a big step up in class here tonight.
He said that. Might be a little bit of a 2 steps up for him.
Buddy McGirt getting ready to enter the ring. He's already walked down the aisle, getting those final hugs and wishes of good luck before he steps up into the ring. And here comes Buddy. Really an outstanding technician. He's been a good champion when he has been world champion. Look at that record, 69-5-1, 47 KOs to his credit. Buddy kneels down, a final moment of silent prayer before he gets ready to take on his opponent. McGirt, an outstanding technician in the ring. Twice has won the world championship, and back now at the age of 32 to try to give it one more try. All right, let's get the official ring particulars now from Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world on Prime, we welcome you to Saratoga Springs, New York for the featured attraction of the evening, brought to you by Bare Knuckles Boxing and the Goodwin Athletic Club in association with Turning Stone Casino and Joe Cutelac's International Events. This bout is sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Commissioner Floyd Patterson, the Executive Director Tony Russo. Introducing to you the judges scoring this bout from ringside, Don Ackerman, Win Kintz, and Don Nodecker, and our referee in charge, Ken Zimmer. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening, a middleweight special attraction scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with green trim, and hailing from Chelsea, Massachusetts. He weighed in at the middleweight limit of 160 pounds with a record of 17 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. He has 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the New England middleweight champion, George the Hammer Heckley. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner in our main event, wearing blue trunks with white trim, hailing from Brentwood, New York. He weighed in at a ready 155 pounds with a record of 69 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. He has 47 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing the 2-time world champion, James Buddy McGirt. Once again, our referee in charge, now to give instructions, Ken Zimmer.
Gentlemen, my instructions are simple. I want you to protect yourself and listen to my commands at all times. Touch gloves, let's do it.
All right, it's scheduled for 10. Ken Zimmer with the instructions to both fighters. McGirt in his 3rd fight since his comeback began following an 8-month retirement. That was after he was TKO'd in 9 rounds by Andrew Council. His last bout was June 12th, a split decision victory over Alan Boogaloo Watts in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It was not an easy fight for Buddy, not that he was hurt or anything, but he did get hit with a lot of punches by a kid who was anxious to make a name for himself. And he squeezed by with a fairly close victory, although I thought that McGirt was an easier winner than the scorecards would have indicated that night. I was really surprised that it ended up being a split decision.
If you watch Buddy McGirt over the years, the first question you have to ask is, does he have a left hand? Does he use it? Can he shoot the left jab? Can he turn it over the hook into a hook with power because of the problems he's had with his shoulder.
Tony, well, what do you understand now is the situation with his shoulder? Of course, he had the much talked about operation after his fight with Pernell Whitaker. Where does everything stand right now?
Well, he tore a bicep on his left arm. He told me back in December that was it for him. He couldn't fight anymore. Now they're doing more exercises. His trainer, Dick Wood, said he's using bands, the stretching type of bands, to try and build up the shoulder. Buddy said there's nothing they can do because the bicep's inside the muscle, so he just has to keep using exercise. Buddy says the arm is 85 to 90, which that's a bit positive. But if he can use the jab, back his man up, then it must be getting there.
His first fight against Whitaker, when he was suffering from that shoulder problem, he fought a great fight, I thought, that night against Whitaker, and had he had full mobility that night, both hands, he might have been able to pull that off because he barely lost. He lost a unanimous decision, but it was 1 point on one of the judges' scorecards and I think 2 on another. He was right in there.
And when he went to Norfolk and fought Pernell, I didn't think Pernell came down the pike. I was so disappointed when I interviewed Buddy after the fight. His face was all chopped up for Pernell Whitaker. He couldn't keep him off him with the left.
The second time around was a much easier victory for Whitaker. Now Heckley here at 17-2-2 has won 8 straight fights, but they've been against low-level opposition. His last fight, June 22nd, an 8-round decision over an awkward guy by the name of Mike Bonislavski. His 2 best wins, a 9th-round TKO over Israel Figueroa to win the New England Middleweight Championship, and a 10-round decision for a pretty good fighter, Mike Colbert. Buddy McGirt looking to get that jab to work.
But he's been sneaking that right hand in there, Rich. I said this might be 2 steps up for Heckley. Well, he's got to do something now. He's got to work his left jab. He's got to muscle Buddy. He's got to make Buddy work. Because if you let Buddy get off first, he's going to knock you out. One hand or no. There's certain fighters Buddy can beat with one hand. But I'm surprised he's using that left and he's bringing it up from the knee and the thigh, a la Thomas Hearns. Not the same kind of pop, though.
Heckley having trouble reaching his man. There's the end of the first round that was dominated by the jab and technique of Buddy McGirt.
How do you feel?
You know, there's been a lot more to the boxing career than just boxing in the career of James Buddy McGirt. In fact, you might remember a few years ago there was a congressional investigation into boxing and some of those on the periphery, and Buddy found himself testifying in that whole situation.
Yeah, well, when Sammy the Bull decided to, I guess, turn on John Gotti, out of every fight in the United States, my name got picked. And of course, I was being followed. It was in the paper. They had me on CNN, going to the Senate, but it got a little carried away. You had the FBI following you around and beeping me and stuff like that, and a lot of people was afraid to talk to me. Back at home in my neighborhood, I go in the store and people just tell me, go ahead, you can cut the line. I'm like, what do you mean I can cut the line? They said, well, we hear you in the mob, we don't want nothing to happen to us. I'm like, man, give me a break. That's just the papers, you know what I mean? How many Afro-Americans do you see in the mob? You don't see none. So it makes me so different. Nothing at all.
And as we begin round 2, Tony Page, I'm not sure that anything really came out of that congressional
not at all.
investigation.
Maybe that's why the taxes are going up.
Round 2, this is scheduled for 10. James Buddy McGirt in the blue trunks and George Heckley in the black trunks. McGirt in his 3rd fight since coming back to the ring. That was 8-month retirement, 2-time world champion. He won the IBF 140-pound crown in 1988, decisioning Frank Warren. He lost it in his 2nd title defense when he was stopped by Mildred Taylor, and then stepped up in class to the 147-pound division. And in 1991, he won the welterweight championship as he beat Simon Brown and lost that in his 3rd defense into the aforementioned bout with Pernell Whitaker.
He told me yesterday he thought he was coming in at 157. He came in at 155, and I asked Dick Wood, what's this middleweight stuff? And he said after this fight, they're going to sit down. If Buddy looks good, decide where he wants to fight. I think it's going to be junior middleweight, and I guess he can't get back down to welterweight, but I don't think he has an advantage against anyone as a middleweight, at least a talented middleweight.
McGirt's 75-fight career includes wins not only the previously mentioned champions, Frank Warren and Simon Brown, but also Livingston Bramble, Sal Mamby, Edwin Charette, Jerry Jacobs, and a lot of good fighters. He's been in with them all.
What 6 world champs in his career, guys who either went on to be champs or lost to him, or ex-champs coming in.
This looks too slick at this point for Heckley, who's going to have to turn this, I would think, into some kind of street brawl, but that's so difficult to do against McGirt.
McGirt is 1950s slick. He's a throwback. Heckley told me he's a LaMotta type fighter from the old days. Well, Buddy McGirt is a consummate professional because he's learned from the beginning. He continues to learn, but from so many old fighters. He's a technician in there. Like you said, Heckley has to turn into a brawl, and how do you do it when a guy won't let you?
McGirt so far through 2 rounds has looked much better than he did, I think, against Alan Boogaloo Watson that last fight. He looks to me to be in better shape. He looks sharper. His arms are quicker. His jab much better here tonight. Looks good.
Heckley's left is starting to come down, which means he's open for a right hand, but he still has a good right.
Come now to the end of round 2. Again, a round owned by McGirt. Round 3 of a 10-rounder in the middleweight division. James Buddy McGirt, former junior welterweight champion, against George Heckley. McGirt's had things all his own way through the first 2 rounds. Dick Wood was suggesting in between rounds that he mix it up, throw some body punches as well. That Heckley knows he's going to the head, so why not throw some body shots. Let me ask you this, Tony. How do you feel about the change in camp and this change in trainer? I mean, he's been with Al Cerdo for so long, McGirt. Now, at this stage of his career, goes to a different camp.
It's still difficult for me to look over there and not see Cerdo over there, but it seemed to have gone. It ran its course with the losses to Whitaker, the knockout to by counsel. And I was not surprised when Buddy came back, but I think he needed a change. He needed someone who can motivate him. It seems like Dick Wood has him on the right path. They've been training at 6,500 to 7,000 feet up in Colorado. Buddy still lives in Brentwood, Long Island, but he goes out there now for his intensive training. He trained 4.5 weeks. In fact, he sparred last Wednesday. Sometimes you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Right, he's there in Colorado Springs along with Shane Swartz. And I used to live in Colorado Springs, and a lot of athletes like to come there. Of course, as you mentioned, it's over 6,000 feet altitude. Olympic Training Center is there in Colorado Springs. It's a good place for fighters to work, any athlete to work. Heckley now beginning to have a little bit of success. He got his jab home a couple of times and forced McGirt into a corner, but very smartly McGirt just spins right out of there.
I think Buddy should go to the body more. Let's test Heckley, see what he has.
And there is that body shot, right hand to the left side of Heckley's body.
Sometimes when you're with the same trainer for a long time, you hear the same instructions over and over, you start to lose the passion. It happens to some fighters. Maybe Dick Wood has put a little bit of fire in Buddy. Maybe like a lot of guys that come out of retirement, he needs the paycheck. His left hand looks good. Throwing it a lot more than he had in the past because it was injured.
Yeah, he looks good through the first almost 3 rounds now. You know, for all of his boxing ability, McGirt is not a runner. Has not been a runner. You know, he is just clever. He knows how to slip a punch, how to turn a body, how to turn a punch.
Gives you angles. There's a chopping right by Buddy. He knows it. He gives you the angle spin, and while you're trying to find him, he's whacking you.
You just saw that example of that too, that wisdom in the ring. He turned off the ropes and came with that chopping right hand. End of round 3. McGirt in control, and Heckley needs to do something dramatic to get things turned around a little bit.
Unless you let him, okay? And touch it, but don't let him. All you got to do is walk to your right, take away his right hand. All you got to do is work the left hand. He's jabbing, and he's hooking now and then. All you got to do is work the left side. He can't touch you with that right hand. You understand? Okay? Some more water. Okay. Okay, rinse that. Okay, okay, we got 2 bottles there, but go ahead and use one of them.
Here we see Buddy just setting the trap for young Heckley. Brings him in. Heckley's leaning with his face, takes a right uppercut. Buddy is is just such a veteran in there.
Right
The
on
way
the
he
body.
spins and gives you angles.
This is cold water, baby.
If you're not on his level,
Yes, sir. Every
he'll
time
make
you
you
hit
look
him, he's
bad
lifting his feet.
because while you're trying to
Okay,
adjust,
that's pretty
he's
stuff.
on you.
You ready to roll? Give me the mouthpiece. Ready to roll? Rinse it. Rinse it, rinse it, hurry up. Rinse it.
Very calm corner over there. A little bit late in getting the mouthpiece in, though. And finally do. Buddy with a quick deep knee bend before he starts the fourth round. I think a lot of us were taken by surprise by that Andrew Council fight and the way things ended there for McGirt in that one.
But it's funny, his left is a lot better than from that fight. So maybe the exercises are working, but you tell if your left is there when you find a guy who's giving you pressure. Heckley's not giving enough pressure. He's trying to win this fight from the outside, but he's not busy enough.
Unless you're a Pernell Whitaker or a Meldrick Taylor who has equal boxing skills, you're probably not going to win a fight from the outside against Buddy McGirt, because he can pick you apart. Heckley needs to take advantage of what he does best, and that's to be very aggressive and try to maul this opponent, try to turn it into a street fight if he can. Throw McGirt off balance. You don't want to let McGirt start a rhythm, get a rhythm going.
Any veteran fighter that gets in a rhythm against a young fighter who doesn't know how to counteract it, and that's curtains for the young fighter. You have to be unpredictable because the veteran McGirt or any veteran is going to figure you don't know anything, so you're going to be in a pattern. So this kid's outside. He should come in and whack Buddy to the body and run away a little bit. Make Buddy come to you. Remember, Buddy is 32. Make him work.
Saw a great variety of punches in this round from McGirt. He had the left-right combination to the head, straight down the middle, then he hooked body to the body with each hand. He's softening up, Heckley.
You can always look at Buddy's eyes. He's always looking at the fighter, always looking for an opening. Buddy McGirt is one of those fighters, when he's on his game, he could afford in any era.
Much sharper tonight. The difference between this fight and the Alan Boogaloo Watts fight a couple of months ago, really startling. McGirt looks much, much better this evening.
Quick up on his toes, angles, punches behind the angles. Look at that.
Stepping to his right and then throwing the body punch.
A little bit like Jersey Joe Walcott there. Young fighter, Rich.
Look at that. That's the Walcott move right there.
But he did that to see if Heckley would come toward him. Just like Ezra Charles walked into that left hook.
Well, we've just witnessed a textbook round of boxing here by James Buddy McGirt. As we move to the final seconds.
Hope the VCRs are running.
And he looked like he wrote the book in that round. That's as good as it gets from a sheer boxing standpoint.
Let the punches go. Stick them. Get both punches going. Get the right hand.
Always give him a little bit of water. Pull his pants on, give him some water. All right, sit down. Come on. Hands up and walk in. Hands up and walk in. That's all you got to do with this guy.
You won't get hit. Keep them hands up. He ain't hit. Don't bring them down. Okay?
Hands up and walk in. Listen to me. Look at me. All right, let me fucking listen to me. Hands up and walk the fuck in.
Watch Buddy McGirt as he gets that right hand in position. Little dip of the shoulder. There was the right down the middle.
I wonder if Buddy McGirt would be interested in training fighters when he's all done fighting, because there's a lot of knowledge there that he could impart to fighters.
He was doing that for a short time when he was retired. I think when he is finally done, that's a good career for him. We work together as a broadcast team, so I would highly recommend that he stick to training.
Did you tell him keep your day job?
Yes.
Buddy McGirt in the blue trunks with the white trim. I'm sure you're familiar with him. George Heckley in the black trunks.
That last between round segment, with so many people
punches go, because you set to let some punches go and boom, there's a jab in your face, or you're about to throw a left hook and he's just walked away and he's he's at a different angle and he's not where he was just a second ago. It's a difficult guy.
Well, everybody's smart down here, right? We're very smart.
Got all the answers right here at ringside.
Heckley says he's not throwing the jab enough. He needs to throw 2, 3, and then get away. Don't give Buddy a chance to figure out what you're doing.
Counter right hand that slid off the face of McGirt. But at least Heckley got something there. Now he tries to rough up McGirt a little bit.
And look how Buddy throws punches into the direction he's moving. If he's moving to his left, he's throwing punches to the body of the head. If you give him an angle where he has to slide off, you go to the right. Buddy continues to throw punches.
Heckley's trying to stay outside and just jab, and that's just suicide against Buddy McGirt. When he was tied up with McGirt a few seconds ago, they were near the ropes. He probably should have just taken him and thrown him up against the ropes and tried to rough him up.
Yeah. He's not busy enough. I think he just has not figured out Buddy McGirt. That's a very difficult thing to do.
McGirt fighting off the ropes. Heckley trying to exchange with him. Nice right hand by McGirt. Very quickly thrown.
Watch Buddy try to go to the body.
15 seconds to go in the round. Heckley again tries jabbing.
Bringing his hands up, which means there's an opening to the body for Buddy.
Coming to the end of the round as Buddy McGirt flurries again. Okay, this is round number 6, scheduled for 10, middleweight division. James Buddy McGirt, 69-5-1 in his distinguished career, screen right in the blue trunks against George Heckley, the New England middleweight champion, known as the Hammer, on a winning streak of 8 straight fights, but none of those guys offered any kind of challenge the way that he is facing one tonight in the person of James Buddy McGirt.
If nothing else, he's learning. I would love to hear him be briefed on this fight. Every time I tried to throw a punch, he was moving. When I got close, he went the other way. When he turned me, he hit me.
Good right to the body by McGirt.
Buddy will take what you give him. If you bring your hands down, he'll go to your head. If you bring your hands up, he'll go to your body.
All right, break. We're going.
In many fights that McGirt has, they tend to almost become, they look like a gym fight after a while. They look like it's a sparring partner going up against the master fighter. And McGirt will simply outbox them, teach them lessons, almost look like he's working on things in the ring.
He's one of these guys who, even though 69 wins, he's not looking to get you out in one round.
Good right hand there, though, by McGirt. And I saw a little stumble in the leg of George Heckley when McGirt landed that right. So maybe McGirt is going to step up the attack. He bloodied the nose of Heckley with that shot. And he's throwing more punches in this round and looking a little bit more offensive-minded.
I thought he might try and step it up this round. He's looking at the body. Look at his eyes. He looks at the body, and that's where it goes. And again, he's so crafty, you think he's looking at your body. He's hitting you in the head.
He's hurting Heckley in this round.
Yeah.
1 minute to go, and Heckley is being affected now by the body punches. Those right hands to the left side of the body of George Heckley. Heckley's punches look to be slowing up now.
Yeah, he's trying to protect himself to the body with keeping the elbows down.
Good right uppercut by McGirt.
I think he staggered him.
McGirt may have an opportunity to finish this here.
Yeah.
If he really looks seriously at that option for himself. Because he seems to me to really be affecting Heckley, but basically he's just breaking Heckley down bit by bit.
Yeah.
A little bit to the body, a little bit to the head, shake him up, step back, start the paint job again.
Let me see if I can set him up with one big punch.
Right hand by McGirt. We come to the end of round number 6. Buddy McGirt putting Middleweight scheduled for 10. You're watching it on Prime. This is a middleweight bout between James Buddy McGirt and George Heckley, the New England middleweight champion. It has been all Buddy McGirt tonight. He's put on a clinic there. Textbook boxing exhibition by McGirt.
You got to give him good marks for movement. You got to give him good marks for ring generalship. I mean, that's an A+ right there. But he's used his left jab sparingly but effectively.
Round 6, McGirt opened up offensively and did a tattoo job on Heckley. Round 7, he put the offense to bed for a round, McGirt did, and showed us those defensive skills.
You know, I don't think Buddy's not using the left because the opening's not there. He's not wasting his punches. That's why he shifts and uses that right to the body, spins right to the head. Still uses the jab to set up the right hand.
So we're in round 8. What would be your assessment at this point of McGirt's performance, and if he can continue now? We're seeing him against a guy who is what appears to be a club fighter, trying to step up and not taking the step up in class real well. But against high-level opposition, where do you see McGirt at this point?
This fight is a win with an asterisk on Buddy's record to me, because he beat a kid who took 2 steps up and just wasn't ready for Buddy. Buddy against a world-class junior middleweight, not a middleweight, a world-class junior middleweight. He's going to have his problems because he's going to have to use that left jab to hurt a guy and keep him off him. Remember, Buddy was a 140-pound and 147-pound champion. There's certain fight, you know, Rich, the sad thing is the sport is so watered down with champions. There's probably a few champions he could take out just with the way he is.
Good left-right combination by McGirt.
But based on this fight, he proved he can still fight. Now you want to see him against somebody who's going to fight back. I don't think he gets a title shot out of this fight, not at all. But it does warrant better opposition in the next fight.
And I will say this for his performance tonight: it's a marked improvement over the fight with Alan Boogaloo Watts 2 months ago.
There's nothing wrong with him in this fight. He doesn't look 32, looks spry, still has the angles. You're Heckley. Buddy's on his toes. You come forward, he bounces away from you.
Yeah, it's a very frustrating thing. But Heckley keeps trying. You give him that, and he's stuck to his own game plan, which has really been to try to jab and try to get into his own rhythm. As we come now to the end of round number 8, and McGirt's still in control. Heckley really has been unable to land a solid big punch in this fight to the chin of Buddy McGirt. Not an easy thing for anybody to do.
Fun. Okay. Let's pick him up in these last 2 rounds, all right? You hit him with everything you wanted, all right? Now let's start stepping through. Okay, when you hear, and you hit him with this, add the hook with it. Or when you throw the 1-2, add the hook. I want you to
Get these punches off, guys. Jabs in here. Let's see it, Judge. 2 more rounds, Judge, and you got it. Okay?
Come on, Judge.
You want this?
You can win this fight, Judge.
You want this, Judge? You want it, Judge? Yep. Go and get it, will you? Put some punches together. Let's get it. Get inside and put them together, will you? Yep. Get it. Jab him, get inside and punch him. Don't stand there like this with your hands down. Let him bump the shit out of you like that. Get in there and bang him. Take a little squat. Lean on him. Lean on him. Let's go.
All right, just asking him, do you want it? George, go get it.
Again, we're always smarter down here. The one good thing is his corner told him, rough him up. He should have told him that in the dressing room before he came into the ring. You got to rough this guy up. He's an older guy. Make him use those legs with you forcing him to move, not Buddy dictating the action, which is what he's been doing.
You saw that good right hand from McGirt, and there's another one as he hits him on the move. McGirt has been in control of this fight from the very beginning. McGirt sticking that jab out there and looking to pick it up again, it appears now offensively here in the 9th round.
Use that right hand twice. Both landed on the side of the head, then Buddy goes back to downstairs. You can't figure out Buddy McGirt, so what you have to do is you have to try and drag him down to your level, because you're not as skilled as he is. Rough him up. Let's face it, a veteran of 40 fights might have
keeps coming forward. Nice right hand by McGirt. Just puts that right over the outstretched left of Heckley.
And Buddy is cutting the ring off on Heckley because he's not standing still. Heckley can't cut him off.
Those right hands almost at will by McGirt. Rarely misses when he tries the straight right hand.
And every time Heckley gets in close, his hands go straight up, which means his body's wide open.
He must think he's in there with a phantom.
Right?
Every time he swings, Buddy's taking 2 steps and walk to the right. He's not there anymore.
I thought you guys told me he was an old man. Buddy McGirt is up on his toes mean Heckley didn't do his job. He didn't work the body like now he's doing it. 8 rounds too late. Got to take the spring out of the old guy's legs. So Buddy just give a little look down to Heckley's feet to see which way Heckley was going.
Hey, got a right in there and a little elbow right after Heckley did.
Must have heard me.
Must feel good after 9 rounds of chasing. Finally get that right handle. 9th round winding down. Bell sounds the end of the round. Back to the corners go the 2 fighters. 1 round to go.
They still have it a shutout.
Put him to the body. Use that right hand inside. Bang him inside. Okay, Judge? Are you listening, Judge? It's the last round. Okay. Yeah. Bang the body.
Last round.
Yeah.
This is the last round?
Yep. You can win it. Keep doing a good job now, will you, Judge? Okay? Keep your hands up. Don't turn your back up.
I don't like fucking tricks.
I'm telling you. What's the matter with you?
Here comes Heckley, figuring he's had enough. He's coming after Buddy behind the left jab. Buddy with the angles. Heckley backs up. That's where he's making his mistake. Now Heckley's got him on the ropes. There's the elbow. There's the left hook.
That was right at the end of the round. 30 seconds to go. The right hand followed by the right elbow.
That's best combination of the night.
All right, 10th and final round of this middleweight battle here on Prime Championship Boxing. I'm Rich Murata along with Tony Page. Thanks for being with us here on Prime.
Buddy looked like he threw a little Pernell Whitaker moves in the last round against him.
Buddy McGirt in the blue trunks on his way to what appears to be an easy decision victory. George Heckley in the black trunks on his way and has been on the way to a learning experience here tonight.
Oh, I'm sure he'll look at this fight on tape over and over and say, because you'll never meet a guy like Buddy McGirt, a guy with this much experience, who's not a banger, who's a guy that's slick, a technician, gives you angles. You're running after him instead of him running after you. And every time Heckley closes the gap, he gets popped and doesn't throw anything in return.
Getting that jab working. Heckley coming after him, and now Heckley trying to open up here, trying to throw some body shots and to maraud him around the ring.
But his mouth is open now.
And that blood really starting to flow out of the nose of George Heckley.
And there's respect between these two guys, because at the weigh-in they were chatting. There was no animosity. They knew it's a job we have to do, but they chatted. I think Buddy tried to warn him about me, but I told him don't listen to him.
Well, listen, Buddy's is a complete professional in every way in the ring. And proved his professionalism by warning him about you. Boy, that blood is just all of a sudden just come flowing out of Heckley now. Little right uppercut in there, and you wonder when you see that kind of an all of a sudden blood flow, if maybe the nose got broken.
Could be. Now if Buddy steps it up, might finally get his
uppercut by McGirt in the left. Half minute to go. McGirt, it appears, is going to have to settle for a decision victory, although he's got a lopsided margin in this round and really beginning to open up.
His target practice right now, all of Buddy's punches are landing flush.
Oh, that blood is just horrible. All of a sudden, blood everywhere. And it's pouring out of the nose. That nose in an appalling state right now. As we come to the end of the round, come to the end of the fight, and things got a lot worse for George Heckley in the final minute of this bout.
It did.
Wow, what a finish. Heckley manages to go the distance, but may have suffered a broken nose in the process. Blood splattering all over here at ringside.